So are NFTs dead? I mean, are they actually dead? Look, we've seen NFTs rise to astronomical heights, making people seamlessly rich overnight, making them millionaires, only to fall, crash, and burn, leaving a bitter taste to those who tasted success. But now that's all they really have. Others weren't even that lucky. They bought the dip all the way down, hoping to get an entry, hoping to get rich, hoping to change their life, only to get absolutely wrecked. Promises of riches and success was muffled by people laughing at people losing their money with a told you so attitude to be able to quench their jealousy since they never got in. They felt a certain superiority, I told you so, when it came to NFTs. And now is their time. But for how long? See, what if I told you that this is just a cycle like any other cycle, and that NFTs are not dead? They're merely asleep, waiting for that one catalyst to revive them and bring them to new heights. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about NFTs. We're going to be talking about new NFTs that are coming, and we're going to be talking about the catalyst so you can get in early before the herd and actually profit from this market. Listen, in every market cycle, there is a top and there is a bottom. This is for crypto, this is for stocks, and this is probably for NFTs. And at every bottom of the market, there is a catalyst that revives the market and sends it to new highs. Excitement comes back, FOMO comes back, greed comes back, and so on. Now don't get confused. You don't need a catalyst for a bottoming formation. I'm saying you need a catalyst for sudden exponential growth. But what catalyst can this be for NFTs? What catalyst can bring NFTs that growth, that exponential growth we are looking for? And should we be buying NFTs right now? So today, I have a surprise for you. I brought in Zach Burks, CEO and founder of Mintology.app and Mintology, that not only contributed to the direction of NFTs as an industry, but picture this. He is the only person in the world right now that knows how to mint NFTs on Ethereum with no gas. Let me say that again. Mint NFTs on Ethereum with no gas, and he actually makes this available for you through his companies. Now, just so you know, this is not a sponsored video. This is not sponsored in any way. I just want to give you as much value as possible, and this is the best way I could think of doing it. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage, give this video a like for support, and let's get started. So Zach, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on the Crypto Factor to answer our questions. The most important one, Zach, being, are NFTs actually dead?
That's a great question. And it comes up a lot, especially right now, right? You've seen across the board some of the blue chips of NFTs, Bored Apes, Azukis, Pudgy Penguins, down 90%, 95%, 99% from their all-time highs, right? So when you look at it from that way, yeah, it looks a lot like crypto is dead, or NFTs are dead. And you could compare it to crypto. If crypto was down 99% from its all-time high, then you would see, oh, Bitcoin's dead, Ethereum's dead, right? But the reality is what we're seeing a changing landscape. Mm-hmm. And that changing landscape is the fact that originally NFTs started out as this non-fungible token asset, which was a new kind of asset that was able to be on the blockchain back in 2017, 2018, right? Then around 2020, 2021, people started realizing that they could make a project selling images with the expectation that those are going to be going up in value, or they have inherent value, or there's perks attached to them. And everyone started jumping on the bandwagon to speculate, to invest, to try to make money. And a lot of people made a ton of money. But ultimately, whenever you have speculative people jumping into bandwagons and people that are brand new, that has to come to an end at some point, right? So what we're seeing now is we've seen a massive reduction in the prices of these assets because, one could argue that the prices were overinflated. They were overhyped. at the peaks, and now they're kind of coming back down to what they should be. But on the other end, you can argue that, over the landscape of these projects, they haven't delivered. They haven't done what they promised. The utility of some of these things were not what they expected. The people who bought the NFTs, they did not get what they were expected of. Another example is dilution. Some projects, it's a business when you make an NFT project. And so some projects go, okay, we released 10,000 NFTs. We raised $5 million. We hired all this staff, and we're down to $1 million in our bank account. What do we do? Well, the only thing they could do is make more NFTs. And so what does that do to the previous NFT holders who bought the first original 10,000? Now that project comes out with another 10,000. And so those original people that bought for, thousands of dollars potentially, they get diluted because now there's a secondary version of their project out there. And a good example of this is Pudgy Penguins, which is a great project, by the way. And the founder, he's a good guy, Luca. But they before Luca took over, they released rods, which were just fishing rods. And that's it. And they sold them, and they made, millions of dollars or something like that from the sell. But all the Pudgy Penguin holders from the original Pudgy Penguins were very upset because they're like, what's the purpose of these fishing rods? Why are you guys making fishing rods? Well, the real purpose is because the business wanted more money, right? The founders wanted more money. They needed to raise more capital, right? But people said, hey, this isn't good for me. This isn't good for the investment that I made originally. So therefore, I'm going to sell. And when they sell, they just want to sell and exit. And that means the price goes down and down and down and down. And eventually, when enough people start selling, then other people go, oh no, the price is dropping. And then they start selling, right? So across the board, you've seen NFTs drop in their speculative nature due to the fact that, as I listed, promises not being delivered, projects being rug pulled. There was a ton of rug pulls, a ton of scams. There was a bad taste in people's mouth before Ethereum switched to proof of stake. You would see a carbon footprint impact of massive quantities every time someone minted NFT. All of these factors combine to this negative sentiment in the outside of the crypto space, in the Web2 space, people looking into NFTs. And I'm sure, anyone listening here has seen it. NFTs are bad for the environment. NFTs are scams. NFTs are worthless. I could just right click and save, right? Yeah. And that all goes around the one core principle that NFTs are just images that you speculate on as an investment, or they're artwork and you want to hold them. But as we'll discuss later, that's not what NFTs are about. And that's not what the future of NFTs holds. But I think we are seeing a changing landscape across marketplaces, across NFT holders, NFT projects, even businesses that release, Nike released some NFTs, right? Budweiser, Coca-Cola, all these massive giants released NFTs, and now they have to look back and they have to say, okay, maybe that wasn't the best approach that we could have taken to this. Maybe that wasn't the most sustainable approach or the most future-proof approach, right? And they have to reevaluate that. And what we're seeing is this transitional period in the landscape of NFTs where the speculation is slowly fading away, which means the valuations of those NFTs are going down, and there needs to be the transition to the next phase. And that next phase hasn't necessarily materialized yet. That's my goal, is to materialize that. And we will do that, but people don't see that yet. And so when they look at it, when journalists look at it, when outside people look at it, all they see is, NFTs are dead. And there's the famous Bitcoin obituaries. I don't know if you know what that is. It's, if you Google Bitcoin obituaries, it's every time someone has said Bitcoin is dead.
Yes, exactly.
Right? For whatever reason. And he goes all the way back to like 2000,
right.
2011, right? And there's thousands of people that have claimed Bitcoin is now dead. And look at Bitcoin today. It's not dead. And so it's very similar to that. And there's a transitional period that we're in right now. We're in the middle of this transitional period. And the light at the end of the tunnel hasn't necessarily materialized for, the majority of people out there in the NFT space, for them, or even in the non-NFT space, the Web2 space, the traditional people, for them to see, oh wait, there is a future for NFTs. NFTs are not dead.
Yeah. So to understand this, or to actually add to this, we could just be in a market cycle where we're looking for a catalyst for the revivement of NFTs. I think that's where you're getting at. They need to transition in order to have something that will get people excited again. Then, of course, people will start getting greedy again. Then we'll have all the speculation again, and then it's going to go back over again to step one, and we'll look for the new thing. No,
No,
you disagree?
absolutely not. Yeah, I do. So here's the thing is, the I don't like the word market cycle, and I don't like the it go back to speculation, because that's not going to happen, right? The market cycle for speculation has happened, it's come, it's gone, and now what we're seeing is essentially a transition into a new type of utility and use case for NFTs. And that new type of utility and use case for NFTs is something that is going to take place via massive companies. The companies I mentioned, Coca-Cola, Budweiser, Starbucks,
Right.
Prada, Nike, all these companies, right? They need to figure out how are they going to take those NFTs and then utilize it for their real business use case, right? And it's no longer going to be speculative. I imagine a future where you walk into a retail store, you show your phone, which has your NFT on it,
Right.
and you have perks. Or
Right.
you check into your hotel and you have a loyalty program with your hotel that's an NFT, right? And it's not necessarily that you're speculating, it's not an investment, it's a utility. And that's
True.
really what NFTs are for, right? Like, I could put my birth certificate as an NFT, I
Right.
could put
Right.
my
Of course.
passport as an NFT, and that's what NFTs should and were envisioned to be. They were never envisioned to be speculative assets of pictures of monkeys, right?
No, there were
And
cool
we
deeds,
just
right? If I'm not mistaken, there were cool deeds, and it could be even to your key to your car, and how you can transfer your car to somebody easier than before.
Exactly. We're actually at Mintology, we're working on a project that allows for an NFT to, open a door, or for you to have access to get into a venue like a concert. And it's all through just, simple NFC stuff where you tap your phone, or someone taps their phone against your wristband, or your phone taps against the lock on the door, and then boom, it unlocks, right?
Of
And
course, sorry.
no, 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 go on.
Of course, inevitably, people watching this are going to be thinking, how can I profit from this? And even if they can't directly profit from this, they're thinking to themselves, okay, but this should also bring the market, the NFT market in general, to start pumping again. And they'll find something else to put there. So I do still believe in the cycle. But I do understand where you're getting at and why you said that's not what you see from what you just said. So it's actually quite interesting. Where do you think that you being in the forefront of this? I mean, you're an NFT expert. You're in the forefront of this technology. You always have been. Where do you see this going? I know you're working on some projects yourself, but where do you see this going in general?
Yeah. Before I answer that, you mentioned people are going to be asking themselves, how do I profit if we're transitioning to NFTs being utilities?
Yes.
How am I going to profit if I'm using an NFT to open a door for an Airbnb, for example, right? It's not that you're necessarily going to profit. It's that you're not going to incur any costs. If you go back to the traditional ideology of Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies, it wasn't about profit. It was about an open economic model
Right.
that
Right.
allowed anyone to send money. So I can send money to someone in Africa, someone in Africa can
Yes.
send money to someone in China, right? It wasn't about profit, it was about an open financial system, right? And that still stands today. And because of the adoption, if you were able to buy, Bitcoin or Ethereum very early on, then you have seen profits. And even
Right.
today, if you bought it in a few years, you'll probably see profits, right? Not financial advice, but what when you look at the future of how NFTs are going to be in the next year, 2 years, it's going to be something that's integrated into your life, just like how apps got integrated into your life. I remember, and I'm sure everyone listening remembers the old saying of, it was kind of a joke, but there's an app for that. when the App Store came out, it was always there's an app for that, or there will be an app for that, right? Because apps just took off.
Right, right.
Now everywhere has an app, to the point where you're like, I don't want to install any more apps.
Right,
Please don't
right.
make me install your app, right? So that utility and the power of having a smartphone that has all these apps, your banking apps, your communication apps, your chat apps, all of that in one central, device, your phone, is a transition in human nature and human behavior, sociology, and how we interact with each other as human beings. NFTs are also going to play the same role. You still may be able to profit in some ways. There's still ways that NFTs will be able to provide economic means for you to benefit from. But what we're going to see is we're going to see those economic means be in a different format. So I'll give you an example of what I see in the future of NFTs and what Mintology and Mintable is working on to bring to the future. And we've already realized this in a lot of cases. But imagine going to a conference. Maybe it's a Web2 conference. So maybe it's a boring financial compliance conference, right? And it's 3 days. 3 days, small conference. On day one, takes you an hour to go all the way around. You're done. What are you going to do for the next 2 days, right? So for the people throwing that event, the conference goers, the business that is actually trying to profit from that event, they need that engagement. They need customer retention. They need customer engagement. And they also might need another revenue stream, right? So how could they do that with a financial compliance conference? Is typically not very exciting. Well, if they use NFTs, you can have NFTs as a ticket. You can have the booths selling as a sponsorship package. So the conference business would sell to the booth a use case of saying, hey, you can offer perks of your business through these NFTs that we're using for the conference, right? So that event business is able to then generate profits from the company. The company that has the booth is then able to increase their engagement through that NFT. And then for the end user, whatever NFT they got, it might be a 10% off discount. It could be loyalty points. It could be airline miles, right? It could be claim this NFT and you get 1,000 airline miles, right? So when you say, how am I going to profit? You may not profit by flipping a JPEG like people traditionally think of NFTs, but you'll profit in another sense because 1,000 airline miles, that could be a free flight. That could save you a few $100s, right? Or if it's a lifetime subscription, an NFT that could be resold. So maybe you have a software that you pay a yearly subscription to, and they offer a lifetime subscription for a little bit more. If you got that as an NFT, and then maybe 2 years down the road, you move locations or you don't use that service anymore, you may be able to sell that NFT to someone else who wants to use that service for more than what you paid for it, right? Especially if they're limited. If there's only 1,000 of them, for example, for lifetime subscriptions, you get one of them, and then 2 years later, there's no more available to purchase. There's only a few on the market. You would be able to then sell that to someone else, right? Who wants to utilize that subscription. Now, that's one example. These are all theoretical examples. Let me talk about an example of a client that Mintology has worked with in the travel industry. So that client released a set of NFTs that allows their one-time. So it was only a one-time ability to get these NFTs, right? They're limited to a certain number. You had to pay, if I'm not mistaken, it was like $500 or a few $100s, right? So pretty expensive. And what that gave you was a pass to be able to go to travel sites like, Traveloka or Expedia, or, all the traditional travel sites. And that company had special deals and arrangements with those travel sites to get up to 80% off the rates that you would normally see if you had that pass. So by going through that company with that NFT, you could then go to a hotel and it might cost you $100 a night, but because you got that NFT, you could get up to 80% off and it only costs you $20 a night. So if you extrapolate out the math, yeah, I paid $500 originally, but if I stay at 5 hotels,
right,
I'm saving $80 each time, that pays for itself. And then once I'm done and I'm no longer traveling, I can turn around and sell that NFT, right? So there still will be ways to profit,
Of course.
um, but the profit is going to be different than the profit that you expect
Well,
now, which is I'm going to buy a Bored Ape and I'm going to flip it next month for
right,
5 years.
right. But that's just because it was in the beginning phase. The way I see it, let's say I am I make events. Let's say I do events, right?
Yeah.
And I want to make a festival or some sort of event, and I have a target of $100,000. Okay, so I need to sell 100 tickets, the $1,000 each. Okay,
Okay.
now if I want to make extra money from that, and if I wanted to hype up a little bit, I can literally make it so that one person can buy this ticket, or how many people want to buy this ticket. But then people can actually sell that on the open market. So just by that alone, the price will start going up because they're not available anymore. Let's say I sold 100 of them. So
Yeah, and
now,
that you could
so
go
we're
to
gonna
Taylor
have
Swift.
so
Think
basically,
of
so basically, it's gonna impact the utility case for NFTs. It's gonna get more serious. It's gonna go to phase two, so to speak. Likewise, another example is timeshare. If I were to buy a timeshare and it's actually corresponded to an NFT, I don't want to get into it in this video because I used to sell timeshare, so I can really get into this. The what it can do is amazing. I'm not just talking about timeshare and hotels. You can literally take that concept and put it in any industry you want, right? So I see what you're saying. So there will be speculation. It will just be done differently because people will actually be buying NFTs with utility, and not as many will be available. In a sense that,
Yes, in some ways. So on the speculation part, if you look at Taylor Swift,
hmm,
she broke records around the world for her tour.
yeah,
People were, buying tickets up. People were lining outside to get tickets. They didn't get the tickets. Some people will get 20 tickets and then resell them for
right,
5, 10, 20 times the price that they bought them for, right? If those tickets were NFTs, well, it's the same thing. There's your limited supply, and there's
exactly,
that speculation, right? Because you can't get them anymore. But if we move away from the speculation aspect, there's another way that in your scenario of I run an event, I need to make $100,000, which is when I go to check out and buy the ticket using whatever ticketing
right,
website you want to use, like normal, I put in my credit card information, I get a digital ticket. It's not an NFT. You can also upsell them, right?
right,
With a VIP. So if they
right,
want VIP access, it comes as the NFT. And there's only 50 of those. There's only 50 VIP seats that are available, and they
exactly,
only come as NFTs, and it's an add-on. So maybe your tickets are $100, but the VIP ticket that's an NFT that comes with a free bottle of champagne or whatever, that's $500, and there's only 50 of them,
right,
right? And so then, in a VIP scenario, you have an extra $500, 5 times the price of a ticket that you're able to sell it as an NFT, which could then be resold. On the flip side, you can go very cheap, and you can say for $5, I'm going to give you this NFT that just says that, hey, I went to the Taylor Swift concert. I was there. Just
yes,
like how
exactly.
people that went to Woodstock, they have their ticket stuff from Woodstock, and they frame it because of how the memorabilia of being at Woodstock was so magical that they want to retain
Right.
that ticket. And so you could even do that as the
And
NFT.
officially track something like a T-shirt that's been issued by, let's say, there. That way, it's authenticated as well.
That goes into a whole nother realm. And that's something
Right.
that we also are working on in Mintology, which is the authentication and anti-fraud. So Dolce and Gabbana, Prada, Louis Vuitton, you see the fakes everywhere, right? And in fact, it's funny because my fiance, she's got a Prada item, like a little purse, nothing crazy. And all it comes with is a little business card that says that this is a certified product of,
Wow.
this is legitimate. And I was like, that's it? Like that's all that I could photocopy that.
You could
And
take
I
the
could
actual
put
business card and put it into a monkey mate, a fake
anything
bag, and
else.
just
Exactly,
oh,
exactly. There's no actual guarantee of authenticity. But if in the back of my shirt I have, an NFC tag that's in the fabric,
right,
which this is old technology. There was clothing back in I want to say 2019, 2020 that had that had a tag in the actual jacket tied to the NFT that showed that this was authentic. There's a few problems with that in terms of
Right.
what if I sell the NFT but I keep the jacket, right? Or what if I sell the jacket but I keep the NFT? So there's a few problems with that those are easily solvable. But those are other utility use cases where purchasing the NFT, utilizing the NFT, and then getting a real world utility out of it solves that problem that we're seeing now, which is NFTs are dead because I wasn't delivered the utility or the expectations that I was promised, right?
Yes.
And we can solve that. The final point, though, that I think is important is people might be asking themselves, especially if they know crypto, they're going to ask themselves, well, wait, this sounds really cool. I can get 10% off 7-Eleven, or I can get 10% off, any grocery store from an NFT. But gas cost. Why would I want to pay gas cost? I've got to get a wallet. I've got to get Ethereum or Polygon, or I got to bridge over my Ethereum to Polygon or Base or any of these layer twos. And guess what? My mom's not going to do that. My mom's
Right,
50
right,
years
right.
old. So how do we solve that? Right. And Mintology and Mintable, we've always had the mom test, which is my mom, a construction worker, she barely can use Facebook, right? She's got like one pop-up blocker installed on Chrome, and she's not tech savvy at all. She can't use a wallet, so she also is never going to buy Bitcoin or crypto because she doesn't. She's got to
Well,
pay for groceries,
yeah.
right? She doesn't know anything about Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Right, right, right.
She's not an investor. She doesn't own stocks. She's a construction worker. She's a normal everyday person. So how do we get her to get that 10% off at the grocery store that she goes to every week, sometimes multiple times a week? Well, it's very simple, right? With Mintology, we have these custodial wallets, single sign-on with her email. So she puts in her Hotmail email, like that's how old, she's using
Right, right.
Hotmail. So she puts in her Hotmail email address. We automatically create a wallet for her. She doesn't even know about it. The NFT is automatically sent to that wallet with no transaction fees. There's no crypto needed, right? And then she's able to simply use her phone, click a button, it shows the NFT, and the grocery store scans it with their little barcode scanner, and boom, she's got 10% off her entire purchase, right? And that whole time, she never had to sign up for Coinbase. She never had to invest in crypto. She never had to manage a wallet. She never had to bridge over to a layer two. And she never had to incur any gas costs. And then the business, of course, the business benefits because now my mom continually goes back because she's got constantly 10% off, right? So the business gets this re-engagement of their customer base. They get new customers. They get a lower acquisition cost of their customers. So there's a ton of business benefits across the board for businesses and users when you look at this new transition of NFTs and where NFTs are going.
Right. I got a couple of questions. Before I went and checked out Mintology. Now, before anyone is wondering, I just want to make something clear. This is not a sponsored video. I did not accept any tokens, money, or anything for this video. I did used to work with Zach or for Zach at Mintable. But I just wanted to make that clear. I have no incentive from this. And what I want to say is I went to Mintology and a few things stood out to me, Zach, and I want to talk about these. One was the simplicity of the website. It was simple, easy to use.
Just to clarify, you're talking about Mintology.app.
Mintology,
right?
yes. Mintology.app. I'll
right.
leave the link down below. Right? I know Mintable is getting a makeover, but we're talking about Mintology right now. And one thing that struck me was the simplicity, not just to make NFTs, because that's been done, but how to actually create NFTs, 10,000 NFTs with different traits, automatically, simply, straight to the point. Something where I just said, wait a minute, anybody I recommend this to, they can do it. So please talk about this, because that was one of the most exciting things I've seen. Anybody can just make an NFT. And yes, granted, we have a transitional phase and so on, but right now, the simplicity of doing this is incredible.
Right. And so I got to caveat this because what you tried out, we're doing a slow rollout. Our product is live. You could go to Mintology.app. And it's Mintology.app. You could go there, you could check out our landing page, you can contact us if you're interested. Right now, we're doing a very slow rollout because we service very large companies. We're partnered with MasterCard. We're partnered with MediaCorp, which is a publicly listed company in Singapore. We're partnered with other publicly listed, like 2 or 3 other publicly listed companies on NASDAQ, multi-billion-dollar international companies, right? And we're servicing them through enterprise means, through all of our APIs and things like that. But what we're rolling out and what you were talking about is this self-serve dashboard. And this is going to be coming very soon. We're getting feedback from people like yourselves to improve it, to make sure it's very seamless. And once that goes publicly live here, probably within less than a month from now, so maybe when this video comes out, you'll be able to sign up and see it. What it does is it's your central hub for someone who either has a development team or doesn't have a development team. If you have a development team, all you need to do is just look at our documents or like our documentation for the APIs, and your development team will be able to run and go, right? Super simple. Any Web2 developer can do it. They don't need any blockchain experience, right? We handle all the blockchain stuff ourselves. And basically you just call an API that says create an NFT. But what you tried was for the non-developers.
Mm-hmm.
And what that was our NFT wizard. And you get to select, do I want to make a single, NFT one at a time, or do I want to make generative NFTs?
Yes.
Which is what those generative NFTs is, like the Bored Apes, where you have random, maybe you get a hat here, you get some weird, mustache, you get maybe some glasses, and it's all randomized, right? That's pretty hard to do for a normal person who's not a software developer. So what we built was a tool that is very simple. You just put folders. So you just upload a folder, and in your folder you just put head, and the head folder is all the versions of the head that for the head that you want to put. And then you have a folder that's called hat, and then it shows all the hats that you want to put. And then you have mustaches and glasses, and they're all in their own individual folders with their individual images of just the glasses or just the hat or just the head. And then you get a set, I want this one hat to be 1 out of 10,000, the rarest one possible. I want this one to be the most common one possible. Once you've done all that, which is very easy, you literally just drag and drop your images over in the folder structure. Our algorithm will go through and randomize everything according to your specifications, and then show you all the NFTs. If you want to make 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is. And then if you're like, I'm not happy with it, let's redo it. You can redo it and refresh it. And you can just keep regenerating over and over and over until you're happy with it. And you can completely control the attributes. So you can say, you know what? I only want there to be 5 of these rainbow sunglasses. And I only want there to be 1 of a black t-shirt. And I only want there to be, I want everything to have a default blue background. So 100% have a blue background, right? And as you said, you looked at it and you're like, wow, this makes sense.
It's incredible. It's incredible because I had a team of developers. We're trying to do a few NFTs ourselves, and I tried to sit there with them. It's not the same. This was just like an aha moment. Simple. I could do this myself. Anybody could do this, and it's genius, Zach. It's genius.
If you could put a picture of an image into a folder,
exactly,
put the title on that folder, then you can do this.
It's an amazing tool. It's an amazing tool, and I encourage people to check it out. But you might start a new trend, Zach. You might start a new NFT trend where people are just doing JPEGs again.
Well, but it's not just that though. That was only one section of the app that you tried, right? So we're calling this self-serve because it's self-service. You could come in, you could do it yourself. Yeah. But there's more to it. Maybe you want to see the analytics. So you want to see all the transactions that have happened across all the marketplaces.
Right.
You want to see your total trading volume. Or maybe when you are offering those NFTs, you're offering them to my mom who doesn't have a wallet. We provide custodial wallets.
Right, yes. I saw that as well.
Yeah, you can see the number of wallets that have been created, the number of wallets that have been exported. So if they want to export the private key and take custody of that wallet and it's no longer in possession of us and they control it, we delete it from our end, and then they have complete access to it. You can see all that. But then even furthermore is you can edit things. So you can go through and you can edit, or you could choose not to edit. You can say this is never editable. And I want this to be permanent. Once this is out there, once this is minted, that's it. Or you can say, you know what? I'm a business and this is a one-time coupon. And if it's a one-time coupon, after it's been redeemed, I want it to change from saying 10% off to thank you for redeeming this, claim your next NFT next month, right? And you can do all that through this dashboard. But we realized that there is a massive market of people who, like yourself, are not developers. They had to go get external developers, or they don't want to. And so if you look at YouTubers, if you look at podcasts, if you look at bloggers, how do they monetize what their content is, generating?
Yeah.
Via merch or Patreon, right? And so we said, okay, merch, Patreon, what are the top platforms that these people are using? Well, for merch, it's Shopify and Squarespace, right? But mainly Shopify. And for Patreon, they're using Patreon. But the people that are using Patreon are YouTubers, podcasters, and bloggers.
Right.
And where do a lot of people host their websites at is WordPress, because
Right.
WordPress is very easy. So we've also built WordPress and Shopify applications that tie directly into the self-serve dashboard. So on your WordPress website or on your Shopify store, you can install, with one click, you just install the Mintology app, and you can do everything that you just talked about, plus a lot more, from within your Shopify store. So you're able to say, you know what, if you own one of my NFTs, or if you own a Bored Ape, anything you want, any NFT you want, or even multiple, if you own one Bored Ape, one Pudgy Penguin, and one of my NFTs, then I'll give you a free t-shirt. And you can put all that logic in very simply. And then at the checkout page of your Shopify store, it's going to say normally $19.99, but because you own those NFTs, $0, right? Or you can add a product that says, this product comes with the NFT. And then that NFT is given to them. And again, we have a custodial wallet solution or MetaMask. So if you have a Web3 user, they have MetaMask or any other wallet that they want to provide. I use MetaMask as a general term, so any other wallet works. They can connect their wallet, or if they don't have a wallet, they just put in their email. We create them a wallet, and then they get a free NFT. So on a WordPress website, maybe you're a restaurant, and you would think, well, restaurants don't seem like the type of businesses that would use an NFT, right? But when you go to their website, which is hosted on WordPress, because they're a restaurant, they don't need anything fancy. And they have a little pop-up that says, we're doing a Thanksgiving special, reserve your spot now, or whatever it may be, right? That pop-up could say that get a free entree by claiming your NFT now, enter your email, right? So you put in your email, Mintable and Mintology creates you the wallet. The NFT goes to that. You get to be able to see that, manage that. And now the business has an email that they could either market to, engage with, or just do nothing with. But it incentivizes that person to come into their restaurant to get that free entree. So they are now re-engaging potential customers who were just searching for restaurants, went to look at their menu on their website, saw a pop-up that says a free entree, and it said, hey, babe, you want to go get a free entree at this restaurant? And next thing you know, you have customers walking in your door, and it was all done through WordPress, no developers needed, no cost in terms of gas costs or crypto, none of that needed, but it is a full-fledged NFT. And
also,
that person can
this
go
also, yeah, true. And this also opens up doors for franchises, but also those little travel cards that you can get discounts everywhere in different places you go. It just opens up so much potentials for entrepreneurs. And I would even go to the point where people developing courses and coaches, like entrepreneurs in general, can actually use this. Because I've been thinking about how I can use this for my website. As much as as long as you were talking, I'm getting excited because I'm seeing the potential here. So it's actually quite incredible.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example of how you might use it for your courses. I'm not too familiar with the extent of all the courses.
They're linked down below.
But essentially, you could offer a free NFT, and you can even put it in this video. There could be a QR code in the bottom of this video that maybe only 100 people can scan. The first 100 get a free NFT, and then on your website, where is your website hosted?
It's on WordPress.
It's on WordPress, of course, as always. So you would be able to install our app, and then you could say that this one page that has my ebook is only accessible if you have the NFT from this video, right? So if the first 100 people were to get that NFT and then go over to that page and you have our app installed, you would be able to say that before the page loads, it would say, connect your wallet if you have a wallet connected. If you don't have a wallet connected, then just put in your email address from when you claimed your NFT. We automatically handle all the checks and all that stuff. We'll interact with your WordPress backend so that it will say, okay, they've got the NFT, load the page. The page is now loaded, and then they can access that ebook, that course, any other material, right? And the same could go for membership. You could say, hey, this is a 6-month membership in an NFT. If you buy it now, then you have 6 months. You have free access to all these courses, right? Or for the next 6 months, every new course that I come out with, or every new ebook I come out with, you get a free version of, right? But you buy the NFT now,
Right.
right? Or you claim the NFT now. You don't even have to buy it. You can offer it for free.
Right.
Because
Right.
the thing that we haven't talked about, which makes Mintable and Mintology super special, is that we have gasless minting. And gasless minting is the most important and critical thing for this new transitional phase of NFTs, because I know anyone in Web3, anyone who's interacted with NFTs they're thinking, wait, what's the catch? Gasless minting means you can make an NFT on Ethereum, a ERC 721, instantly, a complete, full-fledged, fully interactable. It works on every platform. OpenSea, Mintable, looks rare, you name it, MetaMask, Coinbase wallet, any wallet. It's a legitimate 721, but there's no transaction, which means there's no gas fee to mint, which means if you go to McDonald's and you say, how come hasn't McDonald's issued an NFT in every single kids meal? That makes a lot of sense, right? Is to issue an NFT for every kids meal as a toy, right? I'll tell you why. Because of gas costs. It costs about $5 to $25 to make an NFT, to mint an NFT on Ethereum, one NFT. A kid's meal is like $5. So why would they pay $5 when they're only getting paid $5 and their profit margin doesn't allow for them? They would be losing money to do that.
Right.
But with Mintology, Mintology and the gases minting, McDonald's could call our APIs for every single kids meal sold, issue an NFT, give them a wallet instantly, millions at a time. And there's no cost in terms of there's no Ethereum transaction fees needed. And that NFT can immediately be sold, transferred, burnt, done. It shows up in their wallet, whatever they want, instantly. And the thing is I am the only person in the world who knows how gasless minting works. No other company can provide gasless minting on mainnet Ethereum. A lot of people say, what's the catch? Are you on a layer 2? Are you paying the cost, right? Is this centralized? No, no, and no. This is mainnet Ethereum. There's no layer 2s. There's no bridging. There's no additional cost. And it's not lazy minting either. No one pays the cost ever. We have eliminated the cost to create an NFT point blank, right? Now, you still have to, if you want to transfer it, you still have to pay a transfer cost, right? But for the minting aspect, the creation of the NFT itself, if we're talking about McDonald's wanting to give you an NFT, that is now free on mainnet Ethereum, right? And it's been that way since Mintable released gasless minting, back in January of 2021, I think, or February of 2021. And if you don't believe me, you can go try it out. Go gasless mint an NFT on Mintable right now. Add it to your MetaMask wallet or go transfer it, and you'll see that you paid nothing. You can have 0 crypto in your wallet and your NFT will appear, and then you can go transfer it, burn it, do whatever you want. But to transfer, burn, and do that, you need to have a little bit of crypto to pay the gas fees. But the NFT is still there. It's in your wallet. You own it, and you can prove on the blockchain that you own it, right? So that's the beauty of it. And it also allows for businesses to take records, and maybe they don't want to profit. They just want to have a transparent proof of record keeping. So they say, I want to take millions of documents and I want to turn them into NFTs, but I'm not going to pay millions of dollars to do so. So they would come to us and we'd say, not a problem. Here's our API. Just pass in the document you want to make as an NFT and fire them off. Millions and millions and millions of requests go to our APIs. Millions of NFTs are created. And now anyone in the world can go and verify that information on the blockchain using Etherscan or any other tool. And that company had no gas cost.
It's incredible. And on that note, I want to ask you to get on another call so we can do another video. I'm so excited. I know you're working on so many things, but I don't want to make this video too long. I want to keep people on the edge. I want to keep people on the hook so they can tune in next time. Zach, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, thank you. I appreciate it. If you want to check us out, go to Mintology.app. You can also go to Mintable.app, Mintable.com. But for Mintology, check it out, especially if you're a business owner, a content creator, or if you're someone that is interested in being able to provide real utility with NFTs, then go to Mintology.app.
Thank you so
So,
much. Thank you so much, Zach. Check out all the links down below. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So I hope you got a lot of value from Zach. I know I did. Make sure you check out the links down before and check out and watch this video here next, or check out this playlist of NFT Sellers University right here. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.